Alright, so we're playing against Newarkkid, and welcome to this video. Okay, so we have c4, c5, knight c3, knight c6. Okay, yeah, this is a little passive, but I guess with g2, bishop g3, I think I'm going to go for try and get in an early d5 if possible. Yeah, I think this is going to be okay. So we'll go for d5, cd, knight takes d5, and if white isn't taking d5, then we play dc, and then we can trade queens, and yeah, okay, so now just... Alright, so we get this centralized queen. I think black's doing fine in this. So what about e5, e4? That's the kind of thing I would often want to play. e5, and then e4, takes. Yeah, let's go for this. I'm not sure this is completely out. Very quickly played that. So can we just get this e4 in now? After d takes, we get some nice play. And what else? Yeah, I don't know about this. I'm not sure if it's right, but okay. So that's the problem with this. That's the problem. That's why this doesn't work. Okay, so fair enough. Okay. So if we push this, then takes. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's just go for h6, I guess. Or bishop e7 hits the knight twice. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I missed this move. Okay, so knight takes, and let's get castled. Ooh, knight f6. Huh, just knight f6. Okay, no, knight f6 doesn't... Yeah, knight f6 would have worked, actually. So he missed that. Knight f6, check. I've got to do something about the check. And then bishop takes queen. So that was a bit of a lucky escape. Okay, so it's time to get the queen off that diagonal. I guess queen h5. So now something like knight d4 might work. Okay, bishop here. I think we'll get this in now. Alright, so that's decent, that pawn there, just with some... making it a little bit more difficult for white to break out. So something like bishop f5 here could be good. Hitting e2, if f3, then there's a big hole here on e3. Okay, so he just played that quickly. Yeah, I think bishop e6 now. And then hitting a2. And, okay, just very quickly played. But can't we take the rook? Can't we take that rook? Is this a mouse slip or what? Bishop takes c4. Yeah, I think we just take this off, right? Unless I'm missing something. Okay, so it was a mouse slip. And I think we play the f rook to d8 to cover the d pawn. Okay, so queen blocks the advance of the pawn. So something like queen here. This is interesting. What I'm thinking about is something like h5, h4 in this position. Also thinking about rooks here. I mean, this is... yeah, I don't think this threatens anything that much because you can't take the d-pawn, so... Okay, c8. And then I think this idea of... yeah, okay, so I think just h5, h4 is the idea now. Okay, so... let's just continue with that plan. Try and open up white's kingside a little. If the knight moves, I guess we trade. Okay, so I think that's a decent result because that's weakening these black squares a little bit. So bishop g5, and then the idea is to come into e3 with check. Okay, well, I'm going to try and get this check in. Alright, so that's not bad now. What about f5? Looks a bit loosening. This is a good knight here that we can't do much about. So what's the plan? How do we break through here? Can we? Is this f5 okay? Is this just too crazy? Not sure about this. I'm going to try this partly for want of something better to play. But I'm trying to soften up white's kingside a little bit. This knight is just so strong that okay, that's interesting. Now, actually, I can't play FG because of the queen. So, what? So now if queen takes here, I'm going to play bishop d2. Yeah, the bishop d2 though, right? Covering the queen. Yeah, okay, so that's won us a fairly important pawn there. So again, I should just be time now. It's very hard for white to move any of these pawns without losing them. Okay, so I think just this, and then we'll just try and find a way to break in. So something like rook c5, and then b5 to create a weakness on c4. Okay. Actually b4 now. No, yeah. So b5. So we're going to take this off. We can actually let's just take a moment because we might want to invade actually if cb. What does the invade look like? It's hard to invade really. Okay, so we just take this, create the weakness, and then we're going to push. Okay, that's good. And then I think rook c1 looks pretty unpleasant. Okay, so we can actually play this now. Okay, so rook a2 takes. Oh, I should have just taken that immediately. Now rook here. Okay, yeah. Okay, the bishop's on pre, has to go to g2. Let's chase that bishop. Got to go to f3 and a5 to try and make a queen. Yeah, just going to push on and make a queen. This we can take now. Don't know. We can just take it with the rook actually. No need to take it with the bishop. Then we lose this pawn. Just proceeding with a3. Need to just make sure we don't fail to give checkmate. Ah, what's this? Player has left the game. Okay, so he may have just given up at this point. So we'll just keep an eye on this. I'll just pause the video and we'll see if he comes back. So just resuming with these as white's clock runs down, and okay, it says white resigned, but okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to play him again since it's just timing out there, so thanks for the game and no thanks. And we'll just pause. And so I've got the position at what I think is probably the critical moment in terms of the opening at least. In this position I played e4, thinking that, you know, if e4 we can either capture or take on d1 and with the initiative. But I play that move without really thinking about white's resources, you know, just thinking about the really obvious responses, the ones that, you know, are fine for black. But it's a very committal move, so probably before we play this move, should we be just taking a moment to think about the other moves? And, you know, obviously this is an issue after white plays bishop g2. We should be thinking about the opposition of our queen and bishop, and I thought, okay, so if knight moves here or something, we get this, but I was failing to see that we're blocking that. So then white gets to move this, and then this pawn is pinned. It can't take on d3 because of the bishop g2. So I think here black should play something other than e4. I think black's position is good. I think he's doing fine, but I think something just simple like, maybe bishop e6 or bishop e7, something like that. They should be fine. Okay, thanks for watching.